Hi, everybody. This is Rose of Sharon, and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently got a chance to see Saving Silverman, and this was a film that stars a very young Jack Black, and it's a rom-com. And normally I don't go for rom-coms, but the humor is of such that it follows just my pattern of thinking. It's very funny. It's extremely well directed. Jack Black, he plays a character that really matches Tenacious D. That whole, you could see shades of Tenacious D in this, which I thought was really amusing. I thought, oh yeah, I can see just little bits and pieces here and what constituted that character later on. But he plays a role that I've never seen him play before, which I liked. And just seeing him as such a young man was fun as well. And they have these characters that they're trying to help their friend. Basically, the whole plot is they're three friends. It's a buddy comedy, and they all grew up together. They're bosom buddies, and their best friend is a romantic, but he's really inept when it comes to women. So he has this sweetheart, his one and only, when he's in school. And later on, he meets this really manipulative, conniving wench who is quite excuse my French, ball buster. And that's one way to put it bluntly, but she is just wicked in many, many ways. She's very controlling. She's the master marionettess over poor Silverman's life. And his friends, as delusional as they are, and they want to help him out in the worst way possible, and they mess everything up, and it has a happy ending. And of course, Neil Diamond also stars as himself, and there are some really great Neil Diamond songs in it, and I'm a huge Neil Diamond fan, so this is another reason why I liked it. But this isn't the only film that he's been in. I think this was the first one, and then there's another one that was Keeping Up with I think it's called Keeping Up with the Joneses, but I reviewed it a long time ago. It's basically about a young man. Next door, he's having his bar mitzvah, and the kid next door, he wants his bar mitzvah to be just as extravagant and lush as his neighbors. And of course, he has a little bit of falling out with his family. A lot of things occur over time, and he doesn't even know how to speak Hebrew. He has to remember the Torah. There's certain lines in the Torah he has to recite in Hebrew, which he does. I remember the scene, and he does this as a coping mechanism, and it's really strange, but he grabs his testicles, and I thought, but it was strange. He got through it. He was able to recite all of his lines without any mistakes. So without anybody even noticing that he was doing that as a way to help him focus, and that'll do it. Probably hurt, but later on in the film itself, there's a reconciliation, and Neil Diamond is invited to his bar mitzvah, and he sings many of his famous songs. It's just a sweet film, and I really enjoyed it. It's just a lovely movie, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of those off the beaten path films that you normally wouldn't experience unless someone else had told you about it. But nonetheless, this was another one of those that I love the humor in it. And it was right up my alley. It's a funny film, but being as it was predictable, I would give it 3.5. I almost give it 4, not quite. But 5 is my perfect score, as you will know. It gets 2 thumbs, definitely, just because I like the cast, even though I didn't know the cast that well. And Judith is played by Amanda Peet, and she's been in quite a few rom-coms She's great in this one. She just plays a dominatrix in every sense of the word. You think, whoa, step back. You need therapy. You actually are a psychiatrist. I think you need to have your head checked because you have issues. But it's just a fun film. It's a real romp and very, very enjoyable. And if you're like me, if you're a big fan of Jack, then I would definitely see it because Jack is just, he's absolutely wonderful in this. And his expressions, his timing it's very Farley-esque. And I'm thinking he got a lot of inspiration from Farley. I don't know that for sure, but just the way that he moves, his methodology of gesticulating, it just, I don't know why, it reminds me of Chris Farley for some strange reason. Maybe that's the reason. But I don't know if this was the film that launched his career, but nonetheless, it's a forgotten gem, and I absolutely loved every second of it, and I'm glad that my friend talked me into seeing it because it was absolutely terrific. Till next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.